Hi everyone, my name is Elim, and today I'll be showing you how to make your own crystals at home using borax. Here are all the materials that you'll need. Borax, which you can find in any grocery stores in the laundry aisle, a mason jar or any glass container preferably. If you don't have that, you can also use a plastic jar, pipe cleaners, or any other objects that you want to crystallize. So as you can see here, I chose to use a pine leaf. You can even try shells. Any kind of string, so here I use thread, scissors, chopstick, or a skewer or a pencil, just something to put across the mason jar later. You'll also need hot water, a tablespoon, and a cup measurement. Please have adult supervision while you're doing this activity. Since we're dealing with hot water, pick a spot to do this where you can eventually leave the jar undisturbed. You shouldn't do this activity in the kitchen because borax may be harmful if swallowed. The first step is to boil water. We're going to start by making our solution. For every cup of water, we're going to need 4 tablespoons of borax. So I'm going to first measure out the amount of water that I need, and then pour it into my mason jar until I have enough to reach about 3/4 of the way. Okay, so in total I used 3 cups of water, and I think that that's enough for me because it's almost reaching the top and I don't want it to overflow. Since I used 3 cups of water, I'm going to need 12 tablespoons of borax. Stir the borax well. When you're mixing the solution, you should see that your borax is starting to dissolve. Try to crush up any clumps of borax. When you're mixing the solution, you might still see the borax floating around and settling to the bottom. That's okay because that means that your solution is saturated, which is what we want. Next, we're going to make a design with our pipe cleaners. So I want to make a geode or a rock-looking crystal like this. So to do that, you're just going to pick whatever colors you want. And if you have more pipe cleaners, then you just have a bigger crystal in the end. So just twist them around each other, and you want to create a nest shape.
And for the ends, you can just twist them and try sort of connect them to each other, like this.
Now we're going to tie our object to the chopstick. So I'm going to measure out a long piece of thread. And do a double knot. The other end of your string will go through your object and again just tie a double knot. Make sure it is nice and secure, and if there's any excess string that's hanging off like this, you can cut it. Okay, now grab your mason jar and we're going to lower our object into the solution, making sure that it's fully saturated. If it is too long, then you can just twist the string onto the chopstick. You want to make sure that your object isn't touching the bottom of your jar and it's not touching the sides. Okay, we want it to be suspended in the middle. Leave your jar alone for at least 24 hours so that the crystals can form. You don't want to touch it or disturb the solution, but you can check on it after a few hours and over the course of 24 hours to see how your crystals are forming. Make predictions about what you think is going to happen. How many hours do you think you'll need in order to see some crystals forming? Observe and see if your predictions were correct. You can also tie multiple objects onto your chopstick, but just make sure they're not touching each other or the sides of the jar. After you've waited for at least 24 hours, you can take your crystal out and with scissors, you can just directly cut the string off, just like that. And you'll notice that even the strings have crystals formed on it. What is the science behind all of these crystals forming? Well, we started off by making a saturated solution using borax, and the compound was dissolved in hot water.